Oh, here you go. Go. Good? That's a big fish.
Full hand on tail. Yeah, looks so good.
Look how broad that thing is.
What if I was on the full medium?
Beautiful. Oh my. That's a big
That's a
fish.
big fish.
Oh,
That's what I've been waiting for all day.
that's over 6. Oh. That's a good fish. Donkey. That's a heavy spot.
Oh my God, please get the net. Please get the net.
I got you, buddy.
That was the weirdest one ever. There you go. What the? Oh yeah, he's got another 4.5.
Oh my God. This might be it. If I can land this fish. Holy sh! 5.06. She's thick. Oh my God! Oh my God! Holy! What a beast! Dude, that's it! That's it! 4 pounds smaller. I need a picture. Oh wow!
That might be a 4. That might be a 4.
Yeah, that's a 4. You guys show that off to 4 pounds, 12 ounces. Holy! Trailer just getting that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, that's unbelievable.
He's still swimming. What happened to Mick?
Yup. 5.3. Sorry for freaking out. My first fish of the year. There we go. That's a big fish. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes! 4.14 though. Gee. Not too shabby. Whoops, I was not on point with that. I'm sorry.
Hello, everybody. Oh,
How's everybody doing?
I need to do one thing.
What?
Mana.
Do, 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 do. Did Brian put you up to that?
Yeah. He's like, you need to do it. You did the South Park thing.
Yeah. If everybody has ever fished Lake Menominee, and it's on the Mass, New Hampshire border, that's all I can think of. Every time I say that lake name, Menominee. Do, 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 do. And that's because of Casey. Like, I'd not actually seen that Muppets episode, but I was out there, but Casey and I were going to go there. It was years ago. And I said, yeah, let's go to Lake Menominee. He's like, Menominee? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Anyway, how the hell's everybody doing? It's been a long 2 weeks since we were back here. Who's in the chat? We got everybody. Gordy, Jim, Dave, Dogbone, Mike, Dave, Al, Kevin, Tim, Dave, Alec, Mike, Tim.
Jesus.
Jesus, everybody's here. We have kind of a few things to talk about. One of the primary goal of tonight is to kind of talk about this freaking weird spring.
Well, it was like this last year, too.
I think last year was a little bit more, at least it still wasn't great, but it was like consistently not great.
This is like consistently not great +1.
Right, because now, like, at least it was colder water, and the fishing was a little bit more consistent, even if it wasn't great. Like, all the fish were almost in the same kind of areas every time. It's just either they had lockjaw or whatever. But this year, now we're locked in at that, like, low 50s spot. And the fish cannot make up the mind where the hell they want to be, deep or shallow. It's all over the place. So one of the things I wanted to really talk about, and this is definitely for everybody else to get involved in heavily, just kind of go over like all these hypothetical situations that we constantly find ourselves in, and the things we do to adjust.
They're like stuck in that like shitty post-spawn, like that like 2-week window where they're not doing anything. That's like where they're stuck right now. And it's like they're locked. They're just not eating. Yep.
It's like
except for the big ones that everybody's posting apparently.
Yeah. We got lucky. We at least got one each so far. But it's I honest to God put a lot of that up just to, unfortunately, the majority of that is timing for the only Sunday. That's it. We get Sunday. Mm-hmm. And it just The weather is not aligned. We've literally fished a cold front the last 3 straight weekends.
Yeah, and it's not great.
It's great.
I mean, I've been fishing every morning, but still haven't caught anything for about like 20 minutes every morning. But
Yeah, it's from the bank and a really shallow spot. What do you want?
it is. They should be up there, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah. So I see a comment from Anthony. Next week, things will pop off. Dude, I hope so, because I'm going to be on Lake Champlain as of Thursday next week. He'll be joining me late Friday night. We're going to have a whole little crew of people going up, so we'll be there for 4 days, and right now the weather looks pretty good. I'll be
there Saturday and probably most of Sunday.
Yeah, I was saying most of Sunday.
I'll probably leave early afternoon.
I'm thinking if we hit the road by 2 at the absolute latest, that still gives us a solid day of fishing, and it gets me back in time for like
6-ish?
5:30ish. Probably 6-ish for you. Maybe. No, I don't think that's that long of a drive. Are you going to Ashton's? Or are you going home?
Probably, yeah. Most likely, yeah.
Spend Sunday night and drive to work Monday morning?
Jesus, that's a long drive. That's like 5 hours. 6.
It might not be that bad. Anyway, I digress.
Well, no, because I don't have to cut across New Hampshire. I can just cut straight down.
Right. You got 91 right to the highway.
Yeah.
Well, 89 to 91, something like that. Whatever.
Cruise control at 123 and go.
Send that. What a Midwest fisherman. Caught another solid largie on Friday, about 4 pounds. So for the year, it's spin number 3. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Ryan, have you seen Travis's video with Spencer and Derek? Absolutely insane. I think Chameau Bay trip should be in the cards. Dude, I would love to go up there.
Chameau Bay should be
in the cards.
In the cards. That place is just phenomenal.
So I saw that, and I remembered. I was like, oh, that's right. They actually open up the Ontario, or at least the Canadian side, some portion of Ontario, to like a spring window. It ends the 10th, the day before I leave. And I was so upset when I learned that I can't get any more time off. Otherwise, that'd still be a hard sell. I tell you what, if it were still open, like say Friday was the last day, I literally sent him a screenshot of the drive. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go up there Friday because I thought it would still be open, and it's not. I was literally going to drive the 4 hours solo to go fish Lake Champlain or Lake Ontario myself Friday, and the 4 hours back to the cabin. That's how badly I want to go. But unfortunately, I'm going to miss that window. Trying to look through. Alec found fish on beds in the Cape Friday. Yeah, people have been catching a lot of them off of beds for the last 2 weeks from tournaments and stuff. So it's going to be good. Boat Potato. Where on Champlain? We're going to be in the Grand Isle area, basically the North Hero, South Hero Island area. I think we're running all over the place.
Right in the middle.
Yep, pretty much. On the middle of the north part. Up there. Up here, but here. But up there.
This is Champagne. We're going to be like here.
Hey, while everybody's here, 2 things. First and foremost, as always, we greatly appreciate you being here to watch. Do us a favor, please drop a like on the stream if you haven't done so yet. Whether you're watching here on YouTube or on Facebook, either way, just drop a like. It helps more than you know. Number 2, sit tight, don't move. I have a surprise.
I can do that. I can sit still and not move. What is that?
Oh, he can't see us. There we go. This is from Gordy. He's a friend of ours, longtime subscriber, really good dude. He got this for you.
I think I already know what it is.
That's what he said.
I saw the box. You said from Gordy, and I saw the size of the box. Gordy, I love you, and you know how much I love jerk baits.
Yeah, you knew it right away.
I am so excited now. Thank you so much.
I picked that up Wednesday before the show last week, and then it was completely out of my mind. I was like, I canceled the stream. I was like, shit, I forgot we were supposed to do this. Do you need a Kniffy? I don't have a Kniffy.
I don't either.
There's a screwdriver. Oh, never mind.
Oh my god, it's so big.
There's a late birthday or early birthday present, but technically late birthday present because Andrew's birthday was on Monday.
Thank you, Gordy. Oh my goodness. It's like 30 odds.
He's gonna cast it.
I will 100%.
So I don't think you can take it out of the package.
Okay. Well,
take it. Well, you can take the package out of the package.
Oh yeah, true. Oh my goodness.
Skirt.
So you like fishing big baits, huh?
Jay called it before it even came up.
Oh my goodness.
That sweet fire tiger pattern.
Oh man, where
Pretty
the
good
hell?
pattern.
This thing is awesome. Thank you so much, Gordy. This thing is awesome.
We should put real split rings on that and go out and throw it for stripers when we go on our charter. I would die laughing if you are casting that thing.
I honestly think that might actually work for like the right one.
Oh my god, that would be amazing to see that.
No, I'm just gonna put a winch to it, and then we're just gonna troll it. And it's probably gonna make the boat go.
Just rocking back and forth.
Wow.
What pound test do you throw that on?
800, 1,000. That is awesome.
Hey,
Thank
Defiant,
you so
do you guys
much.
have a braid heavy enough for this by any chance?
Look at that thing. It's huge. It's giant. I'm gonna hang this. I don't even know.
You'll find a good spot for it.
Yeah, I know. I will. I absolutely will. Thank you.
Bend over and I'll show you.
That's chap.
So that was number 2. What was that? Thank you, Gordy.
Awesome.
Catch a freaking whale, kid. Jay! Are you guys shrinking?
Oh, God, that is awesome. Thank you. Oh, I hit the camera.
Why you hit the camera? I think it's okay. Why did I squint? Just a smidge. Just perfection. Nice job.
Thanks.
Okay. Weekend fishing report, 30 seconds. It sucked, but we went out. We both caught fish. I lost more jigs than I care to count. I broke off the last fish of the day, and I said, F this route. There you go. I gave it in 5 seconds. Dude, it was just, what do you want? Another cold front. I mean, cold. It ended up being like 10 degrees colder than it was supposed to be. Winds sustained 15 to 20 with gusts like low 30s, mid 30s. And it was gusting way more often than not. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. It
pretty much just sucked. It was not, it was miserable. It wasn't comfortable to be out there at all.
No, freezing. Dude, I had the heat on high. I had my heated seat on high. All the way back. I stopped on the way home to get gas, and the wind was blowing right in my face. I only made it to $30, and I was like, nope, I'm freezing again.
I made it to 40.
Good enough. You did this.
I stopped at the Alltown.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I saw you turn off, so I figured you were just getting a coffee from Dunks or something.
I was going to, but I didn't. It was only 40 minutes from there.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
Oh, so
Anyway.
whatever.
My boat does not have heated seats. That would be nice. Don't the new Rangers have heated seats?
I think a lot of the new ones have heated seats.
I know
think,
Phoenix
I think
does.
the Icon does.
Wouldn't be
I
surprised.
mean, the Icon has everything. Heated live well, cooled live well.
I tell you what, heated seats would be I would 110% get a boat with heated seats. That'd
If
be
there was like
amazing.
handrails, like heated steering wheel and heated hand, like on the console.
Oh yeah, that'd be the next thing. I'm telling you. Then the only thing you could possibly do better than that is to have like a blower heater come out from underneath the console too. So like as you're idling, you just have like hot air kind of blowing out and come underneath the console and kind of just like, if you're going really fast, it'll probably just wash right by you. But if you're idling, it would just like constantly be washing over you. That'd be dope.
Or we could just stop fishing in the winter.
That's dumb.
I know it is.
Okay, let's talk about, I guess, just what a strange spring fishing. I couldn't figure out what the hell to title this, because originally it was going to be something along the lines of like, you know, how to adjust in varying conditions, and that's essentially it. And that's we have been on our back foot all spring, with I think the exception of 3 days. Now, mind you, I mean, this is going back to like the end of December. There was that one day in January in Champlain. That was fairly normal. Not a great day of fishing, but not bad by any means.
Yeah.
We had back-to-back weekends down in Mass where we caught a ton of crappie, and that was still windy as hell, a little chilly, but at least fairly consistent. And then everything else was just not great. And we've just had to play off the back foot this entire time. But kind of used to it, because that's been, I mean, that's especially you fish in the areas that we are, that's pretty much the name of the game when you're fishing up here in the Northeast this time of the year. And, you know, when you're limited to 1 day a week too, it makes things that much more challenging. I don't get the benefit of like so many other people being able to go out and fish all the best weather whenever the hell they want. We've been very unfortunate that just by chance every Sunday happens to be the most dog crap day of the week. So what the hell do you do when you get in these situations?
At least this week, all the weather's consistent. It's just like hail, wind, rain,
Dude, that
thunder.
wind. Anytime that wind wants to stop, I would be very happy.
Not completely though.
No, honest to God, if you told me that this Sunday there was going to be no wind, but it was going to be torrential downpours, I would actually legitimately be happy. Like, you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'll make that work.
Rain gear works.
Yep. I am so tired of fishing in high winds because it's just, even with spot lock, it does limit you, but it is what it is. So the thing is, I have a bunch of different situations that I can talk through. And I know Andrew does too, but this is another one where I really want to hear from the chat for try and think back on days where you face those kind of weird conditions, right? You had things hard shift, and it can be any time of the year. So throw us those hypotheticals / real case scenarios, and we'll roll through them. And this probably won't take up the whole night by any means, but I figured it'd be a good starting point for the stream tonight. Kind of at least give it a more direct direction. So thinking back to, I would say not this weekend, because that would be a very poor example. We only caught 4 fish total. And there was just nothing to be done. We could see the fish moving around and active target. It was okay to start the day. Like they were in the right spots. They were moving
everywhere. There was big fish everywhere.
And then they just
literally threw everything that they should be biting.
Yep.
And then things that they shouldn't be biting, and everything. Like I threw everything. Threw deep crank. The only thing I didn't throw was a square bill. Through jerkbait, finesse, little swim baits, swimming stuff midway through the column, swimming stuff on the bottom, Carolina rig, jig, drop shot, which I threw drop shot, and I don't ever throw drop shot.
No, he doesn't.
Everything. And it just could not, at every cadence, at every it was just... Only that, and I didn't throw top water either, which I probably should have tried just because everything else wasn't working. So,
there we go.
Orange Julius. Honestly, if I was to have another beer, it'd probably be that.
You want first sip?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I cannot elaborate on anything else he just said. There was nothing to be learned. So if we back it up at 1 week, and so I can give you a very direct example of what we ran into, what I ran into. So it was Sunday, week and a half ago now at this point, and it was kind of a cold front. Average temp dropped 15-ish degrees, 15 to 20 degrees. Wind was blowing 10 to 15 out of the east with gusts up to 25. So still pretty bad. And the water had been warming. A friend of mine was there before me, and it came down a little bit, so it was down to 49 degrees. So minimal shift overall in water temp, but enough at this time of the year that it can make a difference. And I do know those fish were shallow prior to my arrival. So what do you do in those situations, right? You pull back, but how far do you pull back in these instances? I have seen it more than enough times that they're going to start translating to the steepest transition points that you're going to find when you have that kind of shift in the wrong direction. And the thing is, not only is it steep banks, but it's also the steep banks at the very top are kind of those prime shallow water areas that you would typically find fish when they move up shallow. They're very, very specific spots. And I found 3 of them on this particular body of water. And I do have the added benefit of active target, so I could see exactly how they were laying to the bank. And I knew they were going to be close to the bottom of it, maybe halfway up, but sometimes they might pull off 5, 10, 15 feet from the very bottom of that transition. And what I found was they were literally right at the bottom. Where it was some flat. As soon as it starts coming up, that's right where they were, right at that little transition point. And it took me a minute to figure out what they wanted and how they wanted it. They were all relating to the bottom. I could see that, not only on active target, but on 2D sonar. And I threw a bunch of different things. I went Ned rig. I went suspended jerkbait over the heads because even though they're on the bottom, sometimes they come up. But they weren't really coming up. So, okay, all right, they're feeding down. They don't want something light like the Ned rig. I'm going to throw 2 different kinds of jigs. I'm going to throw something very finesse, like the Beast Coast Open Water Sniper, specifically the MB Sexy Melon, which is a 22 strand count. It's a finesse jig enough as it is, but now it's a lower strand count too, shorter cut. And I paired it with just a 2.8 inch Kitech, so really, really small, compact little morsel. And then beside that, I threw a 5/8 baby dozer with just an untrimmed rage crawl in the back. So, almost a very normal, traditional, heavy-ass jig, but both footballs. They would not touch that heavy jig. And I tried fishing it a number of different ways. But I kept coming back to that more finesse presentation. Still like a decent little meal, but a finessier version of it. And what I found was, even though they weren't really committed to things, we talked about this recently with jerkbaits. I had to work that jig really aggressive through the rocks and then give it a long pause. And every time I did that, like clockwork, they were trucking it. So at this time of the year, wrapping all of that scenario up, what did I have to do to adjust to those conditions? I had to find the overall size that they wanted, that presentation, so bottom or mid-water, they wanted it on the bottom, and I had to figure out how to get their attention, but then also get them to commit. And that's where that kind of erratic retrieval with that short to, I would say, like mid to long pause was absolutely key. And it took me like an hour and a half to figure out. I'd say within the first 45 minutes, I caught that 4-pound, 14-ounce smallmouth. And that was great, but, first fish, we had a phrase when we used to ride BMX a lot, was once is luck, twice is coincidence, 3 times is skill. And I use that same kind of mantra when I'm out there fishing. One fish is great, and I'm very happy I had it, but it doesn't really tell you enough about what's going on until like that second or third fish, and like there's that aha moment. And that was what it took to replicate to kind of get that to fire off. That was the adjustment. I reiterate it one more time. I had to figure out, they're looking up, looking down, they were looking down. Give them a couple, I actually technically gave them 3 different presentations. Wicked finesse, something in the middle, and something really, really big. And then I had to figure out that cadence. And once I figured out that cadence, then it was just like clockwork. I ran those 3 spots hard for the next 2 hours. I caught 14 fish, which is pretty good in those conditions, especially 48, 49 degree water.
Yeah.
Hopefully that made sense. There's a lot of talking. I do see comments. I want to go back. I'm coming. Scott, Treehouse is a goat. Damn right. Bo Potato. Newfound was great in the wind Saturday. I can't even imagine what the hell anybody would be doing out there.
I mean, it probably wasn't even that bad up there, honestly.
East wind? Wait, well, Sunday was east wind. I don't know what the wind was for Saturday.
East wind, it wouldn't even be really. I mean, it might suck.
Blowing that hard, it's still going to be that bad.
Yeah, it would suck. But...
yeah, blowing it back into the ramp.
Oh, yeah, that would suck.
That would really suck, dude. That would be terrible. There you go. That's perfect. Ryan, when that happens, I'll put the boat shallow and fish from deep to shallow.
We did that.
That we have many a time.
We did that this past weekend. Well, that was literally that's how I caught my only
oh my God,
smallmouth this past weekend.
Yeah, fish. We were parked up on a shallow point, casting out into that deep hole.
Yep.
Made it easier with the active target too. Like I was panning around a little bit as we were locking up.
Fish.
And he's looking over my shoulder. Oh my God! I look down. I'm like, holy crap, that's a big fish. And he's looking at his rod. He's like, I think it's going for my jig. And then it's like 3 seconds later, I just hear.
It's like, dunk. I'm like, oh jeez. Ow! I just smashed my thumb off the mic.
Oh yeah, dummy. Mark. Thinking tough weekend coming up, water level and probably colder, probably going to fish on the bottom and slow. Thoughts? You first.
Do it. Start there.
The hard part with that is knowing what your water temp's going to be. And what was it before all this rain? Although by the time you get out this weekend, like I think, I'm going to verify while we're on here, what was the water temp, or what was the weather supposed to be for the next, I should probably use this and not Burlington, New Hampshire. Oh, tomorrow, 50% chance of rain. Friday, 58, mostly cloudy. Saturday, 67, mostly sunny. Sunday, 67, mostly sunny. That is, partly sunny. That's still amazing. Well, that's a huge difference. I don't even want to look. I'm going to wait till Saturday night.
It's almost 70 degrees, and if it's windy as hell, that's perfect.
Yep, I'm down with that as long as it's warm too. So a lot of rain, cooler weather, but warming pretty fast, and then you're going to have all that sun. I tell you what, I wouldn't fish a place that has any sort of decent-sized inlet that would allow for a rapid rising of water levels, because I have rarely done well in those situations this time of the year. Middle of the summer, oh my God, game on. I want to find a place like that rockets up in water level. Mm-hmm. Totally different animal, and it's so much more fun. But this early in the year, I want stability, like across the board, period. If you get a place that really doesn't have a true inlet outlet, then you're going to have a much better job of trying to figure out what they're doing. Regardless, if you happen to know the water temp and it really has stayed pretty consistent, I would think, yeah, I agree with Andrew. Stay on the bottom and go slow. If your water temps are like in the low 50s, you got a place that's not really affected whatsoever, that much by a ton of rain, in the sense that it doesn't have like a big stream feeding into it, then, oh boy, they might push up a lot shallower than you think really, really fast, because it's going to be decently warm with that rain on Friday, which could be really beneficial. And then all of a sudden you get that.
If it's going to be sunny Sunday and warming up this weekend.
I tell you what, where we're going, it's lining up to be very good.
Good.
Like, I'm anxious.
Like, I want to catch one on that glide bait.
Yep. And that's the place to do it.
I know.
I'm getting
Either
anxious
I'm
because
going to
I'm
catch it or catch one on it, or I'm going to lose that bait to some giant fish that's very toothy.
Well, and the added benefit, too, of what he told me about where we're going fishing with a subscriber this weekend, is there's two places. The place we're going to, another one right down the road that's like the same deal. Mm-hmm. He said you could fish both places, lap both places twice. You could fish both of them in 8 hours. So They're kind of small. We're going giant hunting again. Had fun with our smallmouth. We're returning back to the giant hunt.
I just want to catch one big fish and then I'll be good. I want to catch a fish over 6 and I'll be okay. And
You're going to get it.
5. Yeah.
Real fast.
5 is cool, but 6 is cooler.
Yeah, I'd be very happy with 5. I don't care.
7's even better. I'm still looking for that 8.
We both are. That's why we keep going here. Anyway, so I would say initially, yes. As the day warms up rapidly, I think you're going to be able to start fishing a lot faster, moving up shallower. It really depends on what your water temps are at. I mean, dude, if they're mid-50s right now, then in the morning, I'm going out deep. I'm going to go low and slow. And as that sun gets out by like 9 or 10 o'clock, I'm going to start looking mid. And then by like noon, I'm going to go up really, really shallow. Because I think those fish, if that's the water temps you have, are going to start pulling up fast. If it's just kind of still like some of the areas we've been fishing in southwestern New Hampshire, where the water's hovering right around 50, I'm going to stay out deep, period. But they might come up on top of not on top of the banks, but they might come up those steep banks a lot faster and might be more willing to hit something moving a lot more aggressively. So keep that in mind. What did Ryan say? Blade bait is the deal right now. I have not caught a fish on a blade bait since January. I'd like to. Everywhere we go, there's too much vegetation. Like, I wouldn't even think to fish it where we just were. Yeah,
I would. I just hovered over it or just tick it and snap it out.
I couldn't even get a jig with a brush guard on it to come through that shit clean.
It's true.
Like, the last thing I would think about.
I couldn't get my Carolina rig to come through it clean.
No, it's just that snotty, like, skunky grass at the bottom everywhere at this particular place. It's inescapable. You're either getting snagged in boulders or you're farming grass.
It's good grass.
It's the right kind of grass.
It's perfect, actually, but
it's just a nightmare to fish through.
This early, it's a pain in the ass because it's not super strong, healthy. Mm-hmm. So it just all tears up.
Boat potato. Fish are getting very wise to forward-facing sonar, in my opinion. Wholeheartedly agree. I've been hearing a lot of that lately.
I don't.
Yes. Depends on where you are.
I don't think we're getting wise to it. I think it's just there's so much noise coming off those things and all your other transducers and everything else. You've got 360, you got down imaging, you got yeah. You pretty much got this thing sitting above you. If you're the fish, you're looking up, all you hear is shut off your other graphs and then use only 360 or only forward facing, and you'll be good.
Oh. Thank you very much, Carla. We appreciate you and love you.
Thanks, Mom.
For the donation. Appreciate you. If anybody else is interested in donating, by the way.
Yeah, don't let my mom be the only one.
She has been the only one lately. Down in the video description below, you can get a link to our PayPal or Venmo. You can do it here right through YouTube. Any donations you guys want to send our way is more than greatly appreciated. No pressure, though. And then from Anthony, I forced the jerkbait so much that my forearm looks like I do too much solo late night cardio.
You know...
You're not wrong, though. That jerkbait has been like the deal. My shoulder was
absolutely destroyed this past weekend, but it...
Oh, Jesus. It's supposed to be a family-friendly show.
It is. Make it family.
Jeez. Wait, Grat, you haven't put the boat in the water yet, buddy? Oh, get to it. South Jersey, another day of random rain today. Been waiting for at least one decent day to get out. Hopefully you can soon, man. Appreciate you. Oh, geez. Found Dixon's honey hole. He bagged a 710 a few weeks ago. Well, don't go telling anybody. Keep that to yourself.
No, he said find it.
Oh,
I-
found. I read that as found, not find. No, I'm not going to go find his honey hole.
Flynn,
Flynn.
Florida end.
Scott, forcing the depths 250 this weekend, bigs only.
Good. Do it. What?
I want to do that too.
I'm going to because that's all I ever throw.
I'm going to force myself to only bring the 2 swim bait rods. I was going to say 1 for my heaviest one for my glides. And then I thought about it, and the place we're going to I know has a decent amount of vegetation, so I'm going to bring a Citizen on the other rod. 2 rods, that's it. Just 2 big swim bait rods, everything else, just keeping it traditional. Got to get into a good groove here, and then I can start swinging for the fences again. Granted, the only way I have caught a big fish so far this year is swinging for the fences. So maybe I should just do that.
I'm going to. I mean, I still want to catch fish, so I'm still going to do everything I always do. But like I always do, I always bring at least 1 or 2 big baits. And if there's a spot with the right conditions and everything looks like it's lining up, I will pick that big bait up and throw it for a little bit. And then I'll go right back to jig or jerkbait or whatever I'm doing. And then I'll pick it up again. I'm not going to grind it all day. I won't do it. Because I still want to catch fish.
Yep. I like catching fish more than grinding. The grind for catching fish is my grind. Does that make sense?
Catch a couple fish and then grind for a little bit. Catch a couple more and grind a little bit.
Pretty much what we do.
And then hopefully get a big one by the end of the day.
Well, this is Scott. Yeah, green slime gumming up my crankbaits. Dude, it's been pretty brutal this year. And I wonder if it's worse because of how weird last year was.
Or how much pollen there's been in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that too. Well, just like the lack of proper vegetation development last year. Like everything just turned to like mush.
Yeah, I didn't really get
No, it was terrible last year.
pretty green. It was like all the stalks of grass are up, but there was just this film of nasty mush all over it.
It was gross. It was really, really gross. Oh, hey, Drew. Bo Potato. Fish have never seen so many baits right on their head. It's like we were bed fishing 40 feet now. Yeah. Forget bed fishing. I can't do that. It's just not for me.
Yeah. If
No.
I see one, I'll catch it, but I'm not going to. I'll catch like 1 or 2 and be like, all right, let's go find those pre-spawners.
Well, all right. So I said it, but I'll reiterate it. If you guys want to throw these hypothetical situations at us that we can go through, like situations you've found yourselves in, throw them at us. Because I would like to be able to kind of break down somebody else's things instead of trying to pick apart previous situations we've gone through. But with that in mind, I'll throw you a hypothetical.
Okay.
Unless you want to throw me one. No, I want to throw you one because I want you to talk. Water temp's 55. It's been 55-ish in rain for the last week, right? So staying pretty consistent. Water level is probably a little higher than normal and a little bit more stained than usual because we've had high winds and a lot of rain, right? And that's going to end on Friday. And you're going to be able to go out and fish on Sunday. It's going to be 75 and sunny. And on Saturday, it's going to be 60 and partly sunny. Sunday is going to be dead calm. So
Son of a bitch.
by the end of Friday, those fish have been in a weird funk because of all that cold weather, and they're going to start waking up pretty goddamn
Well,
fast because of the water temp. What are you doing?
They should move up onto the flats where at least the staging areas right before
Keep
where
going.
all the beds and everything are. Because you got your bed section, and then you got your staging, and then you got right before staging, they're all over the place. And they start moving up into the staging areas when the weather starts getting nice, and then when it hits those perfect conditions, whoop, right up onto the bed, start fanning out beds, start doing the dance with each other, the females, males, birds and the bees stuff. And he's talking about right before they start bedding, so that pre-spawn, perfect conditions. I'm going to be out on those flats, probably throwing anywhere from jerk baits to crankbaits to glide baits to anything really moving out on those flats. Maybe even some topwater, because with it getting warm, they could already be up. So probably start shallow and then work my way out and see what happens. I mean, that would be the game plan for the start of the day. If that doesn't pan out, then I'm going to go look for rock piles and shallower rock piles, say like 10 to 15 feet, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And just go sling a jig around in there and see what happens. And maybe work some timber with a jig.
Damn right.
And
Keep in mind that wood warms up faster than anything else.
Yeah, that would be my game plan.
I don't even need to know what he said. I just know that it's right. That's all that matters. Pete called us bed fishing Nazis. Pete has won a lot of tournaments on beds. Definitely takes skill, not for people with ADD. I would like to know, wait, and you said already catching monster bags on beds in Massachusetts. Look, if you're in a tournament and that's the conditions, I'll do it all goddamn day.
Yeah.
Let's not sit here and pretend that takes skill. Largemouth, borderline.
Largemouth, it just takes a lot longer for them to commit to the bait.
Yeah, you just got to piss them off a little bit harder. Smallmouth are the easiest thing in the world. Anybody that thinks it's hard
Naked hook
is an idiot. And I stand by that, and I will die on that hill. And it's not a big hill to die on either. And we have proven it, like he was about to say. They don't bite. They don't eat. They are like
they pick up and they
foreign
move.
object. Get out.
They don't want anything in that
Easiest
bed.
thing in the world.
They got all their eggs, and they're protecting their eggs. Anything comes on there, all they do is they pick it up. All you got to do is lean into them when they pick it up to move it. That's all it is.
Yep. No, I'll die on that hill. Bed fishing's the easiest goddamn thing in the world.
Except for largies. Largies can be tough.
Smallies, yes. Largies can be in the sense that they just, you got to work them a little bit harder, but they eventually will bite.
At that point, they just don't really care. They're just like, get out of here. They're like screaming at it, and if it doesn't do anything, then they'll pick it up.
You know, they'll bite. They'll always bite. So, all right, one more thing on this. Pete, I 110% believe. That, I know to be fact, when it comes to spawning bass in general, both smallmouth and largemouth, the bigger females will be the first to spawn, and they're going to do it much deeper than everybody else. And I forget the whole like reasoning and science behind that. What was that podcast? Bear with me. So one of my friends, Dave, told me about this podcast that he really wanted me to listen to. And they had like a fisheries specialist on where they were talking about that. It was the Big Bass Factory. Sorry, the Big Bass Podcast. And it was, slow down. How to find the best big bass water near you. It was that episode. It was played on April 25th. And they touched upon that. He said that. Like, it was something I already knew, but he really he talked about it in greater detail, and I can't remember the exact specifics, but it was a little bit eye-opening to hear some of the other details behind just that topic in general. Like, if you want to go out and catch a PB, like, these are the specific kinds of bodies of water you want to look for. And one of the things that stood out the most to me was there is a magic number for emergent vegetation that you need to find that produce, on average, the biggest bass for that region. And it was 25 to 30%. If memory serves correct, could be off, maybe it was 20 to 30 or 25 to 35, but somewhere right in that window. That was the magic number.
What, 25% of the lake has to be grass?
Correct. Has to be emergent vegetation.
Makes sense. I mean, from what we have learned over the last few years, fishing certain bodies of water.
110% spot on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, when he said it,
like when there's too much grass,
it clicked. I was like, holy shit.
Where the hell are they going to be?
Right.
I mean, a lot of grass is good. Too much grass?
We're digressing, but in a good way. But to wrap up that point, yes, bigger fish, especially largemouth, well, yeah, especially largemouth, but definitely with smallmouth too, spawn earlier and deeper than anything else. Sorry. But
I was watching, to actually comment on the percentage of grass thing, I was watching Scott Martin video last night, and he was fishing Gunnersville, and everybody was complaining that there was too much grass.
Yep.
I think it was this past year or the year before, and they were having everybody was having such a hard time finding the fish because there was so much more grass from previous years, and they could not find the fish. They were held up on completely different areas of the lake.
So two things. One, Scott, I saw your comment. I believe that podcast said they said herring run lakes too. Yes. So baitfish plays a big role in it. There was a couple different factors, but the gentleman that they had on, this is what his job is he manages private bodies of water for people down in like Texas, I believe is where he was. And that was through all his research and findings and stuff. That was one of the biggest components of finding those bigger bass producing bodies of water was the percentage of vegetation to overall acreage in that body of water. 25 to 30-ish% was the answer. And you're right. When it came to places that like had a proliferation of vegetation, where they saw it was just after whatever that threshold was. I can't remember if it was 30 or 35% acreage of being vegetation, the rest being open water. As soon as you got just a couple of percentage points beyond that, the overall size of the bass started dropping dramatically. And at least the number of those bigger bass, bigger than average, started dropping dramatically. Because at that point, now there becomes too much that they can't, like, there's no defined ambush points for them. So we know a couple places that, like, they have giant fish in them, but they're so choked to death with milfoil, like, there's no definitive spots that you can easily see that are like, yep, okay, that's like a clean break, that's a channel, like, that's just a clear path, like, whatever. You don't have that. So it's just they're kind of spread out. And then at some point, because there's too much spots for the bait fish to hide, the fish can't eat as much as they need to, they can't grow like they would. It was really enlightening to hear all that. But in like 110% of it, I wouldn't call it enlightening, because it made sense. It wasn't really anything that we didn't already know or have concrete assumptions about. Right. But it's just nice to hear it from a professional. Does that shit for a job.
That's his job.
I'm looking back through here. Oh, I saw one from Alec. Hang on, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody above him. Nope, Alec was next. Okay. Say you're hypothetically fishing a tournament on Lake Onata in Pittsfield, Mass. on Sunday. What would one slightly mediocre fisherman do to catch a decent limit? Just a hypothetical. Alec, do we need to talk? Is this about you?
No, it's hypothetical.
It's time. We're gonna bust out the big tools for this one.
We're gonna bust out the maps and probably the Navionics and C maps and all the fancy stuff for you, Alec.
Let's see what Navionics has to show.
Hopefully you're not fishing against anybody that's in this chat.
Onata. Hey.
Hypothetically.
What? Why? What? My keyboard's not working. Uh-oh. Where is that?
Yeah. I don't know. Where'd you say?
Close.
Pittsfield.
Where the hell's Pittsfield?
Hell is Pittsfield?
I know it's west of the Quabbin, I think. Hey, no, there's an easy way. Bear with me. I'm trying to pull it up before I pull it up. There's bits.
Yeah, it's not working.
No, the mouse died in it.
The mice died on it. Oh, where is this? Here, I'll find it.
Bear with me. I know I can. I remember looking at this because I saw a tournament for Berkshire that I was like, I want to go there. That place looks cool. But we didn't go. Oh, I found it. Ha-ha. I am smart. Okay, here we go.
Ho, ho, ho.
Hey. All right, we're
looks
going
neat,
to present, share screen. That one. Share.
Hello.
Aha. Okay, I got to hide your comment, though, so it takes up less screen. And, yeah, I know. I'm trying to...
Dude, just stay at the boat
Bam,
ramp.
there we go. Okay, Onata.
Just stay at the boat ramp. Like, legit.
I got to make sure I find...
Damn, that place is deep, huh?
I just need to get a lay in the land here as I look at the depth chart before I can kind of give you an idea as to what I think. And what I'm seeing is a lot of really good shallow areas. I'm assuming that there's probably some good vegetation, even though it doesn't actually say it. Although it is Massachusetts, and they're big fans of nuking vegetation. Giant area of deep water. And I know there's smallmouth and largemouth here.
Oh, man, they could just...
Okay, I know what I'm telling you.
Look at that. Hold on. Go to that spot where all the rocks are. That rock pile.
Right there?
Yeah. Zoom in a little bit.
Zoom in?
I can't see.
Oh, Jesus, you're blind. How much closer do you want me to get?
Right there's fine. I'm trying to see the numbers.
Like 40 feet right up to 10 real fast over, going way over here. Less than 100 feet. About 100 feet.
I mean...
Oh, we can't even see ourselves. We're behind the banner.
I would probably start right there, honestly. That's just me, but
right,
if that's a rock pile, and yeah, that looks good.
So now I know what we're looking at, and let's pin that bad boy back up there so people understand what we're talking about. I would say my turn first.
Go for it.
Okay. given that there's a lot of deeper water available there, smallmouth and largemouth, if water is closer to upper 50s, and given the weather we currently have going on right now, I would probably be looking at like that 10 to 15, probably 10 to 15 foot depth area and shallower as the morning wears on, if I want to go strictly for largemouth. But I'm going to do it closer to that deeper water, try and find that perfect transition point between the deep and bigger, flatter, shallow areas. If you can find a lot of vegetation or timber, rock piles, anything close to that transition points, that's numero uno for areas I'm going to focus on. And if I'm going smallmouth, I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I'm going to drop my depth by about 10 to 15 feet. I'm going to start, I would start looking probably in like, what I said was incorrect. 15 to 20 feet is probably where I'd start looking for smallmouth in the morning, and then I would start looking up closer to the top of those transition points. Maybe, especially if you can find them in like the 10 to 15 foot range. So there's a lot more deeper water there than where we've been recently. So they might be even still a little bit deeper, but it all depends on water temp. If you're still like high 40s out there, then I might be looking quite a bit deeper. Still close to like those deep points though. Steep banks, transition areas. If it's mid 50s or potentially a little bit warmer, then I'm going to start looking at that again, right about 15 feet. It's probably the starting point I'm going to look, but I'm going to focus on areas that have well-defined patches of vegetation, try and find the bait fish around all that, and that's going to be my starting point.
Yeah, pretty much. I like working those deep rocks early in the year anyway. Those shelves.
Yes.
Early in the year. Mm-hmm. Because they're going from deep to moving up onto those shelves. And as the water gets warmer, they're just going to move up a little more every day. Or even like say in the morning it's 50 degrees and like the water temp is like 50, 55 degrees. And at noon, air temps is 70, 75, and it's jumped up to 60, 62 degrees. They're going to move way up. They're going to move right up on top of that stuff. I don't know.
Oh, wow, this thing.
They were treating to remove vegetation, but there was some very. They were
I'm
treating there.
Should I choke the F out? Sorry. I'm trying to go through. I'm making sure I didn't miss anything else.
If they were chemically treating it, I wouldn't even go. Honestly.
For real.
I legitimately wouldn't even go. Because when they we went to this place last year, and
there it is.
They chemically treated this place. I don't even think we caught a single fish that day. And it was midsummer, like grassy place. Like you go and flipping in the grass and stuff, you catch 100 fish there. We didn't catch a single fish.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. So there you go, Jim Bio. Lassos on Onada, they were treating to remove vegetation, but there were some very vegetated spots. I'm seeing 2 comments about too deep, smallies are on beds. Well, okay, that's why I said depends on water temp. Pretty straightforward, right? We don't know that. Until we know that, we kind of can't give the best thing, but based on different water temps, we can say that. As for smallmouth being on beds, 56 degrees, I think surface temp, I think you're still looking too early, especially where we haven't had enough consistent weather to hold it at about 55 degrees and then warm up for a day or two into the 56, 57 degree range. If you have that rapid warm up, that's just all pure surface temp. Down deeper, it's not right at that point. It's not the right point for the smallmouth to get on beds, even those really, really eager females, with the exception of maybe a handful of fish. But for enough numbers to reliably, bank your whole tournament day on that? No way.
On what, bed fishing?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Especially in those circumstances.
No. And the surface temp could be freaking 60 degrees, but they're not going to be, I don't think they're going to be up on beds even when the surface temp is 60 degrees.
Yeah.
It's just, no. Because down deeper, it's still freaking cold.
Very. You get 3 feet below the surface, is a totally different world.
Mm-hmm.
What does Alex say? Still got decent grass in some spots. It's a very large, rocky place to begin with. Pete. Okay. Rarely do I get annoyed by someone on the stream, but you were straight up annoying me. When you're talking about research, do you know what an outlier is? Because the Cape is an outlier. And in your circumstances, you were talking about an outlier. So that is not what you would typically find literally anywhere else. You're fishing a totally different world under totally different circumstances from the rest of us that are not on the Cape. So Do I think you're wrong? No, but your experiences that you're having down there on those very specific bodies of water, which have been iced out this entire goddamn time, mind you, and had that added benefit of already being close to optimal temperatures ahead of that warming trend that we had, plus pretty good average, higher than average temperatures down there compared to where we are pretty much literally everywhere else. You're talking about an outlier and trying to use that as your definition for what everything is that we're talking about. And that's not how things work. You can't use an outlier as a norm. That's why it's called an outlier. And that's where you are.
It's true. We could go down to the cave and catch them all day if we wanted to, but.
What did Kevin say? Are you a believer of the full moon dictating the spawn?
It has, the moon does have something to do with it, for sure. And that's all I'm going to say.
What is going on over here?
I don't know. I think it got froze over there or something.
That stream is all messed up. All right, we're good. I don't know. Dude, I don't know. To me, it comes down to the water temp. Again, like water temp to me is the master. It dictates everything. And you need a lot more other things to happen at the right times, depending on what that water temperature has been. And it goes well beyond what your surface temps are. But if it's pretty close and you get full moon, I've heard enough stories, I read enough articles that yes, I do think you can have an impact. Do I think you can make something like miracles happen?
Spawn?
No.
I don't know if the full moon on the spawn would do anything, but it definitely does for their feeding. Spawn, yeah. Like Jersey said, like the migratory fish spawn with the moon phases and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true with bass. They don't really migrate. Smallies kind of do.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know.
I think
I don't bed fish enough to really care.
Water temp is still his master. You all right, so if we were thinking about like, all right, you got your smaller bodies of water, they've been holding steady mid 50, like 55 to 57. Everything I've experienced so far in everywhere I've fished, I have not fished the Cape during the spawn, but everywhere else I've been, literally everywhere else, like 58 to 59, you start to see them fanning beds, especially smallmouth. Largemouth, from what I've seen, tend to be a little bit after that, but 58 is kind of like the earliest I've seen. But you've had to have stable weather leading up to that point for a little bit. You can't just get that crazy shock for areas like us, like coming out of ice out, and all of a sudden you get a warming trend and it goes from freaking ice out to 60 in like a week and a half. You're not, even though that's like, even if it got to 62 surface temp, you're still not going to see fish on beds on bigger, deeper bodies of water. Shallower ponds, totally different animal.
100%. Yeah, I was shore fishing this canal, and there was beds everywhere, but it had gotten cold, and they pulled off. There was no fish on those beds. There was just bluegill all over them.
Yeah.
So, and those fish could have dropped their eggs, and then it got cold. They moved off the beds, and the bluegill and baitfish, whatever, came in and ate all the eggs. So now all those fish are gone. So, like, the weather is completely screwing us here.
Yeah. So, Kevin, again, I think bigger bodies of water, it's not quite there yet. Different. I don't think so. In the sense that I don't think you can make miracles happen. You know, if the water has been 55 this whole time and on a bigger, deeper body of water and right at the same time as the full moon, I don't think that's enough to pull them up. I don't know. I haven't seen enough on there. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen or can't happen. My personal experiences and from talking to other people, I don't see enough of it to say that, like, oh, full moon. Yeah, okay, I'm going to bank on that. That's how it's a pin. South Jersey. Maybe in those big lakes where you do have pelagic smallmouth or spots, it could possibly affect them. But I think water temp is the key. I agree.
Bam.
What did Tim... Oh, sorry. There he is. Dan, how you doing, friend? Water's really high in main lakes. If anybody is heading there. We were supposed to, but we're not. Now we're going to wait, I think, 3 weeks.
Still the Cape.
We're going to go out with the subscriber that won, that we did the whole drawing for, where you went with Kristen. 3 weeks. Yes. 3 or 4 weeks. It's either 3 or 4 weeks. Either way, we got it squared away.
It's going to be good.
Yep. So we'll be up there. Hopefully by then things have kind of stabilized.
I think there's huge pike in there. I'm not
That's
sure,
Kevin.
but I think there is huge pike.
Kevin, are there pike there? I would like to know.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Jim, here in New Hampshire, only artificial baits. Yeah, artificial baits only from May 15th to June 15th because that's when they typically spawn. That is correct. No live bait during that period. Boat potato. 3 top bags on the weekend were all caught in less than 10 feet of water. Temp was 43 to 44 and a half. What was the average depth of the lake? I'm curious. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to wait for that answer. I'm just kidding. Who is... Oh, like work emails. I don't know. Keep throwing us hypotheticals. Curious. I am curious. Bless you.
John Pond down our way.
No. Not going to give any more energy to that. The lake doesn't have largemouth. Yeah, but what was the average depth of the place? That's what I want to know. I'm curious. Temp was 43 to 44. Top bags caught less than 10 feet of water.
That's still pretty cold.
Temp 43 to 44 and a half. No largemouth. Was that on Saturday and Sunday? What area? I can't remember where you're from. I don't remember. I do find that interesting, though, in a good way. All right, you know what? I will say this. We don't know the answer to everything. That's for goddamn sure. And we've said that. Wait, hold on. Boat potato. Are you talking about like Lakes Region, New Hampshire? 180 feet of the deepest. I think I know where you're talking about. Okay, anyway. What I was about to say was we don't know the answer to everything. We never have. I hope we do at some point. We've made that very, very clear. But we have enough experience to know what we're saying in general, and I would say even more often than that, is accurate. There's that. I meant to go more with that, but I decided to shut up.
Doesn't have largemouth.
If he's talking about the Lakes region, I know exactly where he's talking about.
Answer!
If he's talking, I know exactly where he's talking about. I think too many people might too.
Oh, so I haven't heard of pike. Oh, all right, cool. I'm pretty
okay,
sure.
so I know what you're talking about. I am beyond shocked that the winning weights were caught that shallow then up there. Maybe not beyond shocked, but that is impressive that they got them that shallow. Interesting. All right.
Beyond shocked, but I mean, it could have been. Wait, this was this past weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Just because of the timing and conditions and everything, I do find that surprising that they were up that shallow. I would think 10 feet deeper than that would have been key. And that's based off of a metric ton of experience out there. But I also don't remember what the weather was like up there leading up to that, and especially what the wind was doing. That's something to take into consideration.
Yeah.
What was it doing leading up to that?
The
Was
wind
it
might
pushing
not
consistent?
have been that bad up there, though.
True.
I think it was worse down south.
Have a good night, Anthony.
Wait, hey, Tony.
All right, we have severely derailed. I don't know, man. If you guys want to keep throwing us hypotheticals, I'm all for it. I will continue to answer any questions. We both will. But I don't know if there's any other like strange hypotheticals I can think of at this moment. Tapped out.
You got 200-mile-an-hour winds. Fishing or not?
Well, it depends. What's the wind direction and what kind of... What's the wind direction? No.
Still
Yes.
200
Answer is yes.
mile an hour.
I don't care. The answer is yes.
Okay. Northeast.
Okay.
No. A north wind
North wind, 200 miles an hour.
on tie.
Oh, no. Now you're being too specific. I still go.
30-footers, let's go.
I guarantee you there's a boat ramp on the north side of a smaller cove.
know what you're talking about, I think.
It could be done.
It could definitely be done if you can just dodge the trees that are getting ripped out of the ground around you.
That's a whole another hypothetical.
No, but seriously, if we got like a north wind, 60.
See, that thought crossed my mind too, but I didn't want to say it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Fish brain, duh.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I forget.
Come on, you can do it.
Okay. I mean, I'm just trying to
We're
think of like.
talking about wind.
Oh yeah, wind. So you got a north to south lying lake with a northeast wind, all rock.
Yep.
Around it, all rock and sand,
Okay.
largies and smallies. 65 degrees out, air temp.
Yep.
55-degree water temp.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
What was
10
the
to 10 to 15 was the depth.
Sorry, what was the yeah, you said what depth was all the rocks?
I don't know, say 10 to 15 feet.
Okay. And you said wind was
10 to 15.
out of the
What did I say? Northeast?
northeast.
Northwest. Northeast? North. Yeah. One of them.
But most importantly, you said 55-degree water temp. Are there any vegetation? Is there any vegetation present?
Sure.
Okay. Very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go fish spinnerbait, chatterbait, swim jig, all up in the shallow vegetation. And I'm going to look in 2 feet of water or less. And that's going to be my starting point. And I'm going to burn the ever-living piss out of that spinnerbait over the top of that vegetation. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably going to crush them. If I can't get a moving bait bite to save my life on that, then that tells me, even though the water temp is pretty good for that shallow water bite, that it only just got that warm. Mm-hmm. And if they're not up shallow, then they're going to be just off that front face down that transition.
In the rocks.
And I'm going to take a jerk bait and I'm going to throw it right at the very top of that transition. I'm going to right over the drop. Mm-hmm. Or I'm going to start crawling a jig, but I'm going to throw it up on top. I'm going to drag it down through it. Mm-hmm. That's going to be all my go-tos.
Bam. I like it. Jerry said if you have 150 mile an hour wind, it's just another hurricane, bro.
Jerry, you're my hero. Kevin, where do you go for your biggest bag? MD, my pants. Terrible. Kevin, where do I go for biggest bag? I'm going where you are. You know what we're talking about. I'll be there Thursday. Pants? No. he lives right next to where I'll be on Thursday while you're at work. I'm gonna send you video after video after video. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna create a group chat between myself, you, Brian, and Steve.
I don't even want to hear it.
And I'm gonna send.
I think Steve's going up this weekend too. I think.
Oh, for real?
This next weekend, I think.
Not this weekend. The following.
They might be going up this weekend too to work on the camp.
Ooh. Well, anyway, I'm gonna send you all 3 of you videos, especially Thursday, because I'll be up on Brownie Factory.
Okay. Oh, you mother.
Damn right I am. How do I pass up an opportunity to go there on a Thursday? There's going to be nobody there. And I know I got another 2-hour drive up after the fact. I'll be
Brian,
in my truck for almost 5 hours.
We need to haul ass to get all these boats done by Thursday so I can go fishing. By the way, I don't want to hear anybody complain about, I want to go fishing so bad. I've worked all week. I work on bass boats all week. All I want to do is fish. It's so stressful. It's not stressful at all. I love my job.
Hey, DJ, thanks for joining. What did Tim say? I'm not going to debate a man on what the fish do in his home water. No, you're right. I'm not debating that. Just what your home water does not dictate the rest of everything else when it's an outlier. That's why it's called an outlier.
Whatever.
What did Joe say? That deep dive app helps with Hypothetical. What is a deep dive app? I am my own app. I don't need an app. Sound like an old man. Sound like Ron Swanson when he goes to Home Depot. You need any help, sir? I know more than you.
It's like all of us when we go to Bass Pro.
Yeah, 90% of the people that step in there. You need any help today? I know more than you.
I went and bought two or three jackhammers the other day. It's like $60 for these. I'm like, yeah, you didn't know that? Like,
Greg, caught a couple in a spy bait today. Couldn't get a bite on anything else. Dude, I would love to fish a spy bait again. It's been a hot minute.
Oh, by the way, I found one I want to get. Did I show it to you yet?
No, not yet.
I'm ordering when I get home.
You told me about that, though. Pete, buy rental properties and you don't have to work all week. I mean, I wouldn't heartbeat. I just don't have the capital to even buy everything up front.
Buy rental properties.
Everybody's buying rental properties now. I feel like today...
I can't even find a rental.
I was just saying, like, I feel like right now is a
it.
really goddamn bad time to buy one.
It is.
If people knew what I paid for my house and what my neighbor's house, which is the literally exact same footprint, though newer and nicer in the sense of the interior was
It's just updated.
Very, very nicely a couple of years ago. And they just sold the other day for almost just shy. I mean, literally just shy of 2.5 times what I paid for my house in 2010. I am in the middle of like kind of nowhere, southern New Hampshire, mind you. Not in some podunk middle of the woods town, but I'm not like in a major suburb like Nashua or anything. And I was like not really sick to my stomach when I heard this, but flabbergasted. That's the proper word for this. Flabbergasted. The idea of buying a rental right now. Just buying anything right now. Can't even stomach it. It's insane.
I have a jerk bait. That's all I got.
Wait, Joe, what are you talking about? Fish? Oh, okay. All right, I understand what you're talking about. Sorry. Bad time to buy anything large. It's just a bad time. I agree with this. It's just a bad time.
You're not wrong, Al.
I don't want to talk real estate anymore.
No, real estate sucks.
Rich, compared to spring, this year has been slow AF. I've only managed a 5.11. I had 2 7s, an 8, and a 9 by this time last year. Damn. So I tried. I don't really spend a ton of time on social media other than like when I'm posting my own stuff. And every once in a while, like usually pretty much only on Sunday nights, like wife puts kids to bed and there'll just be noise on the TV. And I'll just flip through. And like that's the only time I really put into looking and seeing like how did everybody do? Because I know that like the majority of people tend to do their fishing on the weekends. And in general, I would say that what you've experienced has been kind of the norm. However, the people that are having a phenomenal spring this year are having a stellar spring. Like some people, their best 5 that they've been posting up so far has been fucking nutty. And that's like everywhere, all over New England, for all the pages I follow. Like, and actually, the majority of these big fish I've been seeing people catch have been on topwater too. Like giant wake baits. That's been like by far the best producing bait for people I've seen that have had like multiple bigs in the boat already at this point. And there it seems to be much like what kind of brought up this whole topic in general anyway, too, was a real lack of consistency on the days that they're finding success. They're not out there even on the best days, but yeah, I'm tempted. And, oh, wow, you did it. You're a champ.
Okay. He's annoying. We don't have to deal with that dickhead anymore. You're welcome.
I didn't do that.
I did it. Blow me.
Understand the
my
significance
vein is coming out of my
that.
head means I want to punch you in the teeth.
Understand the significance of that he lost his patience, not me. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. It seems like there's been real inconsistencies with where they're, when and how and time of the week that they're getting them. It's just been a really, really weird year. So anybody that's like bothered by that, don't be bothered by it. It seems like in general, while the big fish that I'm seeing are definitely bigger than last year's bigs, again, in general, I keep saying that word a lot, but the number of them seems to be down across the board. So there is that. We're not alone in this. That's for damn sure.
Fantastic. You're welcome. I don't deal with
great.
that BS anymore.
When I saw
Quit flapping your jaw. Nobody cares.
I saw another comment. Oh, Tim, my bad. I understand you. But oh, there we go. 3D fishing. How's the new job? Did you answer that? I mean, you talked about it earlier, but I don't know if you answered him. He asked you, how's the new job?
DJ, I love it. Absolutely love it. Steve is an awesome boss. I love working with Brian. Steve's wife, and her mother. It's an awesome company to work for. I am having a great time learning a lot about boats, learning that I don't want an aluminum boat anymore. They are extremely hard to wire, and your hands get cut up a lot by them. And I think fiberglass is the way to go.
I was going to say, tell them about your opinion of aluminum boats before and after job.
So if you ever feel like wiring a bass cat up, good luck. There's a lot of room in there. It's a big boat. It's a beautiful boat, but they are very hard to wire up. The plate's a spot to get all the way. Oh God! I literally threw my shoulder out trying to get in. I was climbing in the live well. I mean, not live well. The rod locker, getting up. Oh God, it's a pain.
So you threw your shoulder out in 2 different awkward positions.
Nah, they're not bad. It's
hard reaching and heavy lifting.
It's good to learn how to do them all, and I'm having such a good time doing it.
That makes me happy.
I love it.
Up top.
It's like the first time in my life that I've had a job where I'm like, I get up and I'm actually up before my alarm every morning. I'm like, let's go to work.
Okay, so my attitude and outlook and just overall happiness is the same, but the alarm clock thing, hard no. Because I'm still up way too late making all these freaking videos and everything. But like, I slept through the first 5 different alarms I had this morning. Finally, my wife comes in at 7:45. Mind you, I'm trying to get to work for 8. And it's only a 5-minute ride, but she comes in, she's like, you need to get up? I'm like, ah. Dude, I've been very, very tired lately. It's pretty bad. Okay, there it was. Richie. I've been mixing up methodically, but my local water temps have stalled in the mid-50s for the last 2 months. I'm so glad you said that because my opinion, my personal experience, I'm going to reiterate that. In my opinion, in my personal experience.
In his opinion, his personal experience.
Low 50 sucks. Especially when it stalls, low 50 sucks. Because that's that weird water temp range where they're either shallow or deep. They could be anywhere. And when it just stalls and hangs there, for me, that's when I struggle the most. I'm like, I don't know where I should be. I might cast them on the bank and I might cast them in 50 feet. I don't know. And it's that still, I haven't had enough experience in those circumstances that I don't have a definitive, yep, they're definitely going to be in one of these 3 spots. I see stalled low 50s and I'm like, shit. Okay, well, I've got 5 rods tied on for really shallow, and I've got 5 rods tied on for really, really deep, and we're going to hope for the best. We're going to go spots 1, 2, 3, 4. Shallow, deep, shallow, deep.
I like it. That's pretty much what we do every weekend anyway.
Because that's what we've been stuck in this whole freaking time.
I know.
Oh, God.
No, Alec, it'll be fine. I'm just kidding. It's not too bad with aluminum boats. Just the way that they're configured, there's no clear pathways for stuff to go through. So it's because everything's built out it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Drop your boat off.
Jason, he's going to make you rewire his boat next winter.
Oh, am I? I signed a non-compete, so I can't do it at my house.
He's going to drop
so
it off.
You gotta
he's going to look at you
shop.
like, want you.
It's fine.
Alex, so you're saying when I get my new aluminum rig next year, you're going to be mad at me for dropping it off? Yes.
Nah, no.
Yes, he is.
No, I won't. What are you getting? What are you thinking of getting?
Oh, Tim. I thought I wanted an aluminum. I sold my X19 after a few years, the wind blowing me around the lake. That's one of the worst things I hear about aluminums in general. I
think it depends on the boat itself, though, because I heard the Vexus, I guess, aren't too bad with it.
Yeah. I do remember from several aluminum boat owners that they say, especially trackers, whatever you get the biggest horsepower outboard you possibly can.
Just to weigh it down.
Correct.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with speed or power or any of that. It's all about added weight to help pull that thing down a little bit and sit lower in the water so that it doesn't get kicked around by the wind. And if you go the extra mile.
TJ's got that huge Lund, and so does Ryan.
Yeah, but the only difference with their boats, they're freaking huge.
Yeah, they're giant, and I'm pretty sure the gauge of the aluminum that they use is super thick.
Yep. So it's just a heavy ass boat. So it can't get tossed by the wind, even though it sits up considerably higher than everything else. Oh, and actually, those Pro Vs don't sit quite that high. On the front, yeah, but when you go to the back, it's no different than a bass boat. I remember that from the last 2 times we went up to the St. Lawrence.
It does sit pretty low. But he also has, he's got a 250 and 2 poles on there. And does he have AGMs or does he have lithium?
AGMs.
So,
He's got
yeah.
6.
Yeah, so that thing's squatting.
Yeah,
It probably helps him, honestly.
Yeah, wait, no, he has 6. He has 3 for 36-volt trolling motor and 3 for electronics.
Damn.
Yeah, well, if he goes lithium, he doesn't have to do that anymore.
No.
But,
he only needs 3.
Bigger bilge pumps. He's got bigger live well pumps. He's got oxygenators. He's got, I don't know how many screens now. I forget. 360 live. Like, he's got a lot of stuff in there. And for him, he's just like, could I get away with 2? Yeah, but that third smaller battery is just a little bit extra that I do not worry. Period. He can run everything he wants all damn day for a tournament, and he's gonna have energy when he gets home.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him from that perspective. What the hell was I just about to say? Oh, on that topic of him and his giant aircraft carrier boat, I did mention to him if there's an opportunity for us to come up for, say, just a long weekend to Ontario at his camp, he was like, hell yeah. So, like, literally the 3 of us could just jump in his boat.
Oh, that would be a blast.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh,
There's
we'd have
more
so
than
much
enough
fun.
room. More than enough room.
The 3 of us? Are you kidding me?
It's gonna be a problem.
So much room. Good thing he's a cop. Bad thing he's a cop. he's gonna arrest me. But we'll just go up in the can. It'll be fine.
Ferris! I was out last week, had 10 to 20 good-sized largies swimming all around my kayak, and I threw everything I had. Jig, jerkbait, chatterbait, wacky, lipless, could not trigger a bite. Yeah, it's that time of the year where you're going to run into that a lot.
I got bit on the 250 last week. During the week. Was it Saturday? Actually, it was Saturday, I think. I had like 5 or 6
Yeah, it was
followers.
Saturday. You told me about that.
One probably 4.5 to 5 came up, followed it up, and then like another like 3.5 to 4 came out of nowhere and just smoked it from the bottom and sent the bait flying in the air and he completely missed it. But
What a jerk.
still pretty cool.
Yeah. Jim B, water levels have really come up in the last week or two due to all the wet weather. What do you think the effect will be? This time of year, it's tough.
If it was midsummer, I'd say just go shallow and throw a frog.
Oh my God, yeah.
Or a swim jig or something like that.
If it's midsummer,
Right now,
total crapshoot.
who knows? It's New England. Is it going to rain tomorrow? Probably. Is it going to be cold? Who knows?
This time of the year, I've seen it go both ways. And they've, despite colder water temps, and it's been in a variety of conditions, they've pushed up really, really shallow, even at times where you really wouldn't expect them to do that. But more often than not, and it's almost like a 55-45 split on this, this time of the year, we typically get slightly colder rain. So if anything, it pulls them back down a little bit deeper. We're in this weird spot where all this rain, air temp and water temp, like they're all the same. So I don't know that it is having an impact. With the water level coming up, again, I don't know that it's really having an impact other than if they're halfway down that steep bank, then they're probably pulling up close to the lip of it. That was my first inclination and the first areas I'm going to look at based on that. Like Andrew said, though, if it's middle of the summer, if we have this kind of weather in the middle of the summer, and I know that water levels in lakes and ponds are going to rise, half foot to a foot, there's one specific body of water you will find me at. And I really hope you don't find me at it. Because there's only been a few instances, and this is one of our go-to places for big fish. There's only been a few instances in the past where in the midsummer we've had that just influx of crazy water, and there is one particular area that becomes accessible, even by bass boat. I mean, and it's just enough that you can get in like 30 feet further. 4-pound rock. Past that stretch of weeds we always fish where you caught that, Nate, you caught that 5.5.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Oh, yeah.
When
dude.
the water comes up a foot, it's like having another pond there.
Yep.
And
get all the way back into that. Oh.
Normal pool, it's like 6 inches of water. You can still find fish in there every once in a while, but there's really no movement, so it's not like kind of like good shallow water, if you will. Especially everything on the outside is like 10 times better. And again, not to say you can't catch fish in there, but it's just like a little too congested. You add a foot of water on top of that, and it's a totally different world. And it becomes just something magical. And the amount of area that they can move around in and ambush from and eat, and all the insects that get washed in from, oh my God, it's like a dream come true when the water comes up a foot in a place like that. So I do think in that case too, it's very specific to what opportunities you have based on bodies of water that you know. There's a lot more that plays into it than just to say, the water's up a foot. Now, what do you have available that's going to be impacted by a sudden rise of a foot of water? what does that make for more opportunities? What does that potentially detract from what could be done? Say if you have a lot of current anyway, smaller body of water, freaking rivers in general. Rivers I stay away from, period, when they come up this time of the year. Won't do it. Not worth it. What did Alex say? I'm leaning Lund right now, but also love my tracker. The tracker price tag, but I haven't heard great things about the newer trackers.
I mean, if I was going to buy a brand new boat, I wouldn't buy a tracker. I was thinking about doing it a few months ago. I probably wouldn't do it now. Just knowing seeing what I've seen and how they're constructed, and it's not a $30,000 boat.
No.
It is not. It is not.
Hey, Dean. What did Freedom say? They were just up shallow in Maine before we got dumped on rain. Got a feeling they backed out a little bit. More often than not, yes. But I would, if they were up shallow, the rain really hasn't been quite that cold. I would still check shallow, and I'd check that next transition right down from it. Tim, I've owned both glass and aluminum boats for my purposes.
MD, I love you. Thank
You're
you.
the best.
It takes a lot for me to get annoyed and pissed off like that. And I'm just like, no, I mean, it doesn't, but it does.
No, but it doesn't.
That guy's
I mean, it does. Sorry, it does. It really does take a lot to get you to go out of your way to have done that. It takes a lot. Like, I just
It's
bit
like
my
the
tongue.
dickhead in front of you going 30 and a 55, and then you go to pass him, he pulls in front of you. I want to hit you so hard.
Yeah, you're doing 60 and a 55, bomb down the road, nobody else behind you, and you see a guy last minute pull up to a stop sign, just roll through it and pull out in front of you. He's just doing 45. It's like...
In a Subaru. Every time.
In a Subaru.
Every time.
Anyways.
Anyway.
As Tim said, I've owned both glass and aluminum, and for my purposes, a fiberglass boat is just a superior rig. Yeah, ow, my neck. I concur. Jerry! Our Florida,
Express.
Florida man. Oh, Express are nice.
Oh, they're so nice.
Here in South Florida, we are nearing the end of our spawn. Most will be done in the next couple of weeks. They have been bedding since November and come in waves. Our water temp now is already around 79 to 83.
My God,
You know, it's
dude.
funny. I remember on Bass Boat Central, that topic had come up at one point where you just bed fishing in general, right? And what people thought, good or bad, and, you know, like how they thought it was impacting fisheries and the whole 9 yards. And a bunch of people were like, you know, there was a couple of guys that were like, it should be like almost a federal level where, you know, nobody can bed fish during the spawn. And then, like up here in the north, it makes sense in the sense that, like, it's start and stop time isn't super well defined, but it's pretty goddamn close. Like, it's a pretty well defined 4 to 6 week window. Where, I mean, the vast majority of the spawn happens really in like a 3 week window.
Yeah, it's just one big wave, really. It seems like it's one big wave. It's not. There are little waves, but they all
Yeah, you get your
move
outliers
up.
on either end. It's a little like kind of just a giant bell curve,
Right.
right? But the bulk of that all happens inside of like that 3 week window. So if you want to go down that road, I'm not saying, I'm just kind of elaborating on the conversation I saw relative to what Jerry said. Then at least in, you know, northern reaches where you have a lot of ice and you get that rapid warm up, it goes right through, and then all of a sudden you get nice warm weather, warmer water, you get into summer mode, like it could make sense from that perspective. Down south you can't, because exactly what Jerry just said. Their spawn lasts from freaking November to May. You can't shut that down. There's just no way you could practically do it. Catch and release still, yeah, sure, you could do that. But then, like, imagine not having tournaments for 5 months.
I mean, 90% of people are catching and releasing anyway.
Right.
Down there.
Yep.
Besides big tournaments, but that's 100 fish out of 100,000. Like it's not a big deal.
True. Jerry, 2 Saturdays ago, there was a tournament in Okeechobee, 5 fish limit, 11 bags, over 30 pounds, winning bag 38 pounds. Damn.
That's crazy.
Mike, if it's not a Subaru, it's a Prius. Never fails.
Just hit the off switch.
Pretty much. Hit the ups. It'd be neat if you could carry on like mini EMPs, like shotgun style. Like if you could just blast a very focused little EMP blast. Get behind an electric car. Just
Like on Fast
nuclear
on
car.
Tokyo Drift.
I actually have never seen that movie.
Dumb. You gotta watch it.
I'm dumb or the movie's dumb. Because I thought the movie was dumb just from the trailer, and I have refused to watch it.
You need to watch it.
I don't. All right, I'm gonna have to watch it because even my kid wants to
But
watch
the
it.
RX-7 is so nice.
I know the RX-7 is nice, but the movie just looks so bad.
It's not the best, but it's great.
Is it
It's
like
a Fast
good
and
bad?
Furious movie. It's a second Fast and Furious. What do you expect?
Well, the first one was and still is good, mind you. Watched
Yeah,
that with my
second
oldest
one is
son
good
recently.
too.
It was phenomenal.
And it's racers in Japan. It's sick. Yeah, that one. Anyway,
MD.
all right, now we're just turning this to talk shit about that dude.
All right, we're done.
We shouldn't do that.
It is funny though. It is. He's right. I mean,
Not gonna tell you wrong.
it's not. It's not right. It's not right, MD. Oh, all right. Here we go. A real question. Any advice on super clear reservoirs that seem to be late on the water coming up? Your turn.
What? Any advice on super clean reservoirs that seem to
Clear.
be laid on? Clear. Clear.
I open
Same.
my nose again while you answer that.
Reservoirs that seem to be late on water warming up. I mean, that honestly seems like almost every single pond and lake around here right now. The last couple of weeks have just been super tough for us. And I can't really give any concrete advice that's going to help you go out and catch fish besides take your time and just fish. Just get out there and throw. Oh my God. Super clean reservoirs. Reservoirs are usually sandy and rocky, right?
For the most part.
Usually.
If it's that clear. Well, no, if it's that clear,
Jerk
it could also
baits.
be a lot of vegetation acting as a filter.
Jerk baits, crankbaits, jigs. And just take your time. Work every cadence you can possibly do. Any speed, all speeds. And just don't give up. Just keep fishing until you figure it out, really. Change your colors a lot. Definitely change your colors a lot. You spend 15, 20 minutes on one color, change it. 15, 20 minutes on another color. If you're not getting bit, change it.
If we go to any of the glacial lakes in the lakes region, it would essentially kind of fit the bill of the question you're asking.
Right.
And I am extremely confident that a jig is going to go off. I will have 5 different kinds of jigs tied on. They're all different colors. Because more often than not, you can get multiple kinds of jigs to work, but the color is key in clear water. More often than not, color is everything.
And skirt size and trailer
Skirt.
size. No, skirt, not 100%. Well, yeah, skirt definitely. A shorter skirt right now is definitely the way to go, I believe. I truly believe. With a smaller trailer. Like a bulkier, but short trailer. So maybe like a rage craw, but like cut down to like just before the claws. So only the claws are sticking out.
I like that. DJ, they do have tournaments in Texas on the Elite, so they catch and release at the boat. That's that like Toyota Texas Bass Fest. And you are correct. I think it's a slot limit lake.
They weigh them and let them go.
Yeah, but they
It's like MLF kind of.
correct. But they do bring one to the scales. But it's like it has to be in that like high end slot.
Right.
So the only fish everybody's bringing in is a giant, and then they have to play that game. Because I think, please someone correct me if I'm wrong. You can't cull it. Like whichever one you decide to take for the day is the one you got to take. I don't think you can call that one specific to that tournament. I remember Polnick saying something about that in one of them where he caught a good one. It was like 7-ish pounds. He was like, I mean, it's good fish, but like, I think I can beat that. Do I keep it? Do I gamble? Do I let it go?
That's a tough decision.
That is a tough decision.
That's a 7-pound fish. That's a giant fish anywhere you go.
If memory serves
Unless
correct,
you
that
catch
was...
a 9-pounder later and then it's like, damn it!
I think that was it.
Would you rank color as more important than profile for that situation?
More often than not, yes.
Yes, but at the same time, you kind of want to get both right.
True. But general rule of thumb, yes.
Smaller, more bulky is definitely the way to go, in my opinion. That's what I do. I always, in the spring, I'm always going with like a short, kind of smaller. It's either huge presentation or it's small and chunky, like short and fat, like chode jigs.
Boat potato. Casting rods has a Ticonderoga on Saturdays. Catch and release, they provide the scale. Registration ended today. Our buddy, TJ, told me about that. And I would 110% go up and fish that if I could. But as it is, my Saturday is quite booked in a good way. Part of my Saturday is booked with your time. We gotta do some work on the boat. Yes. Oh, I pinned the wrong one. Jerry, are your lakes like the flooding up there? Yeah, they're getting up there.
Oh yeah.
The rivers have been running.
When you coming back up so we can go fishing? By the way. Or maybe we just come down to you.
He is coming up. I can't remember, June or July. He'll have to remind me. But yeah, he's coming up. We'll make something happen.
Maybe we'll be on Champlain. You can come visit us on Champlain.
That would be cool. As far as I know, no. I don't think they've mentioned anything about any special speed limits right now. Be there about 6 to 10. Oh, June. Oh, okay, I was right. So I said June or July.
Good thing, Jay.
10th, yeah, we're good. I got nothing planned for June. Just kidding. June 10th we'll be on Lake Champlain. But he'll be here for 3 to 4 weeks. So everything's
cool.
fine.
Perfect. Sweet.
All right, I'll tell you what. It's already 9:30. We've been at this for a little bit. I think overall, not one of our better shows, but not a bad one.
No.
Get a little derailed here and there.
No, we just had to take out the trash for a little bit.
You're like really happy about that.
I am. I can't say it. That's a bad word. That guy. That's all I got to say.
You know, it's honestly amazing that we went this long.
2 years.
Before that happened. I mean, no, you think, well, yeah, no, specific to the live show, yeah, 2 years. Channel as a whole, this entire time.
I think that's the first person we've ever blocked. He was just being a dick.
Yeah. A little bit. It is what it is.
Better than all you. I make more money because I sell houses.
Well, so if anybody's curious and they want to send hate mail towards us, please direct it to the attention of Andrew. He was the one that did this. I did not.
Yeah, that was me. If you guys want to talk shit to me, go ahead. I'll get it right back. I can promise you that. Or I'll just shut my phone up because I never answer it anyway.
Then there's that.
The only people I answer to is my mom, him, and my girlfriend.
He doesn't even pick up for me all the time. Oh, all right. So, yeah, you know what? We'll wrap it up. So anyway, for everybody that watched tonight, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. As always, it was a good show. I'm not sure what we're going to do next week. I'm going to give that some more thought. Trying to think, like, as things become more regular, we're going to be able to talk more about these things. But next week, I do know whatever we end up doing will probably be a slightly shorter than average show. Probably keep it to an hour max because my butt will need to pack and then be on the road for 4 a.m. the next day to head to Lake Champlain for 4 days. So what I'm going to try and do, if I can figure out a way to stream, I have nothing against streaming from the boat. The problem is I can't read the damn comments. And that's the only, like, this is what I like about doing these streams is being able to interact with people. If we stream from the boat, like, I have to sit there and look at the damn
with
thing.
us, like Nate or something, he can either film and read comments, or we just set up a camera and he just sits there with us reading comments and whatever.
Yep. You know, there's something to consider. Would that work?
Or Dennis or whoever.
Think about this. So I know if you do on Twitch, there is a way you can get it set up so that when people, well, unfortunately, every example of this I've seen, people have had to donate to get it to work, but I think you might be able to make it work where people wouldn't have to donate in order to fire it off. But you can, people would write a comment and, because, okay, I gave you $5 and I'm going to write a thing, and then the stream, like, there's a little robot voice that reads it out. It'd be kind of cool if we had that option, minus the donation part. Like, I wouldn't want to force people to pay to be able to get it out there. But then that'd be cool, because then we could fish, and then, like, you just hear the comments as they come in.
I bought a house for $150,000. Sorry, I had to do it.
There's so much more on that I could elaborate on, but I'm not going to because it'd just be a waste of time.
Anyway,
energy.
We love you guys, all of you guys. You guys are all awesome. Is that it? Are we done?
Oh, Ferris, do you know if that can be done on YouTube, or does it have to be on Twitch?
I have a Twitch account.
I mean, I could set one up for this, but I just don't want to split ourselves too thin. Spread, not split. Need grass screen for comments if there was a way. I mean, yeah. Oh, yes, it can. Ferris, we will talk. I want to try and get that squared away. If I can do that, that would work.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be mint. Okay. Anyway,
Cool.
thank y'all for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Wrap it up.
We will see you guys next week. All of you guys minus one.
Fucking ruthless.
Thank you guys for all coming out, hanging out with us. And we will see you guys next week at 8 o'clock. I can't even do this right now. Like every Wednesday at 8 p.m. at the Eastern times. YouTube.com/Reel Nothern Bass at ReelNothernBass.com. And we will see you guys next week.
Have a good night, everybody.
Adios,